Those who separate the world map from before you. Have you ever thought about where is the farthest point from civilization, humanity and life as we know it? Where the ocean meets the sky, where even ship routes don't stop, that place that appears on maps as just a blue space. Off the coast of Prince Edward Island. This place is just cold, stormy, and endless darkness. Or so we thought. The date is September 22, 1979, midnight. There is absolute silence over the ocean. Not a ship, not a plane, not a witness. At least there is no human witness. But, 100,000 kilometers above the atmosphere, staring into that darkness, an unblinking electronic eye was watching us. Its name is Vela 6911. A product of the United States Cold War paranoia. His mission was simple but vital: to prevent the Soviet Union, or any nation with nuclear ambitions, to prevent him from secretly testing an atomic bomb. For years it had been there, silently circling, scanning the farthest corners of the world. He saw nothing for years. Until that night. At 0:53, Vela's sensors detected an anomaly. First, suddenly, a blinding flash cut through the darkness of the night like a knife. And immediately after, a second, longer, more intense burst of light. This was no ordinary lightning. This was not a meteor. This was the signature that the engineers on the Vela project had been dreading. As alarms began ringing in Washington, the data pointed to a single truth: the double flash. There is almost no event in nature that can mimic this phenomenon. When an atomic bomb explodes, it first burns the atmosphere, then the shockwave covers the light, and then the fireball shines again. That night, Vela witnessed a sunrise in the middle of the ocean. But the question was, who was responsible for this explosion? There were no American ships in that area. The Soviets were not there. The British, the French. None. A 3-kiloton ghost had exploded in the middle of the ocean. And this specter was about to turn world politics upside down. To solve a murder, you look for fingerprints. To decipher a nuclear explosion, you look at the bangmeter data. The data sent by the Vela satellite was so clear that it left no room for debate. 2 peaks. The first flash lasted milliseconds. It was the thermal shock initiated by the nuclear reaction. The second one lasted for seconds. This one was also an expanding fireball. When scientists at the Los Alamos laboratory saw this data, their blood ran cold. Because this model had a margin of error of 1 in a billion. These satellites had previously detected nuclear explosions 41 times, and they were right all 41 times. So why would he be wrong the 42nd time? Science said, this is a bomb. But politics had to say, no, it's a coincidence. Now let's rewind the scenario a bit. We are in 1979. There are 2 countries in the world that have been marginalized and cornered by everyone. One of them is South Africa, which was isolated from the world by the Apartheid regime. The other is Israel, trying to survive in the enemy ring. Official history books do not mention much about the relationship between these 2 countries. But behind the shadows, a dangerous dance was taking place between Pretoria and Tel Aviv. South Africa had the uranium and the test sites, but it lacked the technology. Israel had the technology but did not have enough territory to test it. It was a perfect marriage that even the devil could not conceive of. Could the Vela Incident be the fruit of this forbidden love? Was what exploded in the Indian Ocean that night a silent message to the world from these two pariah states? The White House was faced with a choice. Either declare its ally Israel a nuclear power, and he could either admit to breaking international law and commit diplomatic suicide, or he could bend science. They chose the second one. The Special Commission, the Ruiner Panel, made one of the funniest statements in history. According to them, a tiny meteorite fragment hit the satellite's sensor at that very moment, at that very millisecond. He simulated a nuclear explosion by reflecting sunlight. Can you believe it? Among the trillions of possibilities in space, a collision that will produce a nuclear signature. They called it the Zoo Incident. So, it's an unexplained, strange natural phenomenon. But nature does not lie. On the other side of the world, the Arecibo telescope in Puerto Rico detected a strange fluctuation in the ionosphere at the same minute. Thousands of kilometers away, in the thyroid glands of sheep in Australia, iodine-131 isotopes were found that could only come from a fresh nuclear explosion. Sheep don't lie. Satellites don't lie. But people. People say. Years later, when Soviet spy Dieter Gerhardt was captured, he made a striking confession. Moscow knew what happened that night. Joint operation between Israel and South Africa. Code name, Phoenix. That night the weather was overcast and there was a storm. The testers thought the clouds would obscure the glare. But nuclear fire cannot be hidden. That light pierced the clouds, passed through the atmosphere, and hit the lens of Vela 6911. Even today, the American government has not fully opened the Vela Incident file. That night the fish died in the ocean and the sky was painted red, and the moment when the two nations made their bloody entrance into the nuclear club is recorded in official records as merely an anomaly. Sometimes the truth is in a satellite sensor, sometimes it's hidden in a sheep's thyroid, sometimes in a spy's confessions. The Vela Incident taught us this: even in the uttermost darkness, if you look hard enough, you see the glimmer of truth. I'm Onyx Abel. Thank you for accompanying me on this journey into the dark waters of history. If you don't want this video to get lost in the ocean of YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next mystery. Stay in the light.